Welcome to the Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culturist WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside
the 7-second dance break.
I'm not going to floss. No. You listen to us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on those podcast services and 9 a.m. on the YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head down to facebook.com/groups/popculturist, Discord, email, other shit, links in the description below. If you want to support the Pop Culturist on your body, head to popculturist.com/shopping by assorted wrestling-inspired designs. Neither of us are wearing them today, but they are there. Amazing. And on sale for some of the new ones. Yes. If you do want to see them, go to that website. It's also on our Twitter.
Yes.
We should mention our Twitter handles are also in the little displays that come up with our names. So if you want to follow us there, you can also follow us and chat to us about things. Because for video medium, it's I'm at HaggardMC, HAGGARDMC.
And I am Jem the Piercer, JEM.
Yeah, forgetting that video is not a podcast.
Yeah, some people don't actually watch, they just listen. Yeah,
we have more listeners than we have viewers, so that's
exciting.
Something.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I just on twitch.tv/popculturist. Yes. It's post-Mania, man.
It is the Raw and SmackDown after Wrestlemania, the most exciting Raw and SmackDown of the year.
Well, that's what I was told. So I was chatting with a couple of friends of mine. So Josh, of course, who's now watching again, and a friend of the show, Benny from 8-Bit Mania. He was like, "Hey, we're so bullshitting about, how the Raw and SmackDown are always the biggest, the bombastic, because."
A lot of things happen on
All the big shit
weekend.
comes out because it's like they want to retain everyone from Mania, so it always goes nuts.
Yep, they go hard or go home.
That's it, and then with next week being the Superstar Shake-Up on top of that, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of pressure. Yeah. We're gonna ask that question: did the show deliver?
Yeah.
How you been as well?
Good, man. Rex.
It's been 24 hours.
It's been 24 hours. We're both very, very tired, I believe. I am. I'm pretty sure. It's been a long day. But we got this.
And as my chair is rapidly declining, because the gas cylinder in this is properly fucked. And I haven't got a new chair yet. So I will, if you're watching the video, I will drop, and you will hear me punch my chair throughout the episode. But, sorry, I'm just going to I've nearly maxed this book.
It's crazy.
I don't know how many pages are in here, but it's all full of wrestling notes. We have to put one of these shelves and just wrestling notes.
Yeah. Look back on them fondly.
And then be like, yeah, that's so many wrestling notes. Where are we?
We are.
That is the one. All right, cool. Sorry, I'm just making sure I got the right page. So this episode of Raw continued in Brooklyn. It was also at the Barclays Center, same place as NXT TakeOver, and the Hall of Fame. They just left the ring up and changed the rope colors. It did kick off with Seth
freaking Rollins
walking in to sort of gloat and talk about his win at WrestleMania, becoming a Universal Champion.
Yep, he did have the "You Deserve It" chance, and he was like, "No, we deserve it." And I was like, "Yeah, we do. You tell me."
Sorry, I'm just responding to old Dirt Sheet Dash.
But yeah, that was super exciting. So yeah, he goes on to speak about how we deserve his win and how he's going to be a champion that actually shows up to work on Monday nights. And he gets interrupted by the New Day.
Surprisingly. So we...
of SmackDown fame.
Spoilers, there's a lot of crossover, brand crossover here tonight.
Mania week does it.
Yeah, so we then hear the music of the New Day.
Whoa,
and Kofi
Brooklyn
comes out and sort of congratulates Seth on the win. They both have a nice shared respect for their outcomes. And then he goes, hey, also... After watching that incredible winner-takes-all match at Mania, how about we have a winner-takes-all match tonight?
Oh, was that?
Universal Champion. Hope one of them can fucking punch this chair. Universal Champion versus WWE Champion. This literally gave me anxiety. Like, my chest caved in. I'm like, oh.
That's why I covered my mouth immediately. I was like... Oh shit.
Yeah, because I was watching and I was hanging my son's washing onto a clothes horse. I went, what? I just dropped his clothes. Like,
no.
What? No, we just got
You just got this. You both just got this.
Yeah,
Why?
you both just got them. Like, don't need to be fucking with him now. You just got him. Like, just give him around a little bit, man. You got this.
Enjoy.
But yeah, so they sort of announced that this was going to be the main event. There was some minor hesitance from Seth to accept said challenge, but he did. He agreed.
Ooh.
And it all came down.
Exciting.
So what's your thoughts on moments like this? Because this is in terms of where we're at right now. The part of this is some stuff for later in the show. We've seen a woman holding both women's championship belt. They're laying down the groundwork here for what could be a unified men's belts. What's your thoughts on the theory that we could be getting unified belts?
Look, honestly, it kind of disappoints me. I think both belts are so standalone and so iconic to each brand that unifying them, it's just gonna... It's hard. Not only is it going to make more work for the superstars, which means, there's going to be more prone to injury. There's going to be less time we might see them. It worries me, honestly. I think keeping them on their own brands and doing their own thing is the best thing for business, because it keeps all engines running, you know what I mean? Otherwise, if one champion's getting spread thin across, say, 3 shows, for example, or even just the main 2, it's really going to wear them out really quickly, and we're not going to see the performances or the entertainment that we want from that person. I think it's more detrimental than anything. Yeah,
no, I agree. In terms of how it goes with the performance of the wrestlers and how the wrestlers are treated, that's probably the biggest thing, and I certainly agree with you there. But from a business perspective, or how it looks, it's the situation of I don't see the men's belts unifying anytime soon. Maybe midway through the year, maybe a little bit later, like just before October. But the women I see potentially sooner.
Yeah.
Mostly for a couple of different reasons. A, the women's roster is certainly not as big as the men's.
Yeah, definitely.
It is noticeably smaller. Not staggeringly smaller, but is noticeably smaller.
For sure.
And on top of that, I think by unifying it to a one woman's championship belt and then creating a mid-tier belt, that allows for the main eventers or the A-listers in the women's to go for the higher belt, as well as also giving a shot to the mid-card with their own worldwide championship belt or something.
Exactly,
so they'll have the women's championship and insert some sort of nationwide women's belt.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work, definitely.
That's not the best option, because right now the problem that we're facing, and this was seen firsthand with the likes of Ronda, was anyone that came close to giving a shot at having a belt got mushed. Because Ronda was just a far superior superstar. So when you get the likes of Ruby Riott or any of the Riott squad, or when we hear about the idea of Mandy Rose getting given a shot to take on Asuka, it's like there is no way that Mandy can win that fight.
Exactly.
In a mid-card belt where it's the likes of Ruby Riott versus Mandy Rose,
that's
a more believable match.
Yeah.
Like, I could, in terms of the two of them getting in the ring together, I believe that. Like I said, I think they're on the same par, and they could have a rad match.
Definitely.
So I think that would be a better option. That way, they're like, it's not separation, but it's just always of helping those get up in the mid card, and then from that mid card move up into the main.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna.
Yeah, and we definitely did see it with Asuka, obviously losing to Charlotte as well. Like that, after Rumble, I believe it was. What was after Rumble?
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Was it Elimination Chamber? She had
Fastlane.
Oh no, so Fastlane. It would have been Fastlane. She had her last championship battle. We saw nothing from her for like 4 weeks, in the lead up to Mania, because they had nobody for her.
Because the biggest problem was they were focusing all the attention on the Raw belt and what that meant for Ronda and Becky and Charlotte. So they kind of were like, hey, well, you've got a belt, but you're over here. Like, they weren't giving the time they needed to Asuka or to even the SmackDown belt.
Yeah, exactly it. So I think definitely with the women's, unifying it is going to be more of a beneficial. With the men's, not so much.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Next, we got the Raw Tag Team rematch between the Revival and Zack, Ryder, and Kurt Hawkins.
We did, yeah.
So
WrestleMania rematch.
A follow-up to what we saw at WrestleMania. I believe this was for the belt as well.
Yes,
It was a rematch.
Yeah, full proper WrestleMania rematch.
Yeah, so much for no
shot.
championship rematches.
No, being handed to you.
I was a little bit on edge going into this, mostly because I thought, well, cool, it's almost like a correction, right? Like, hey, we gave the belt to Zack and Kurt, and they're going back to where they were.
See, I thought it was very much a let's make sure this wasn't a fluke type match.
Okay,
so they're
give
them a second chance.
They're dotting their I's,
dotting their I's, crossing their T's, just making sure that there wasn't a fluke there between Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. That they genuinely did, win it. Like it wasn't just a freak accident, because
Because that's certainly the concern. Because when I was talking once again at work to Paris, my boss, and he's like, we're talking about wrestlers, and he goes, "Well, that guy that lost like a bajillion times." I'm like, "Aha, he lost 269, and he won." He's like, "Really? Like where? Like at Mania? Oh, really? For a belt? Really?" Like for him, it kind of caught him off guard, and he's like, "Oh, did he lose it?" I'm like, "No, they kept it, and they still got it, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant."
He got the pin for the win.
So the win did go to Zack Ryder with a roll up on Scott Dawson.
Yeah.
So it was good to see sort of Kurt get the win at Mania, and then Zack to follow it up to sort of not sort of focus on one member of the group. They were both given a moment.
Didn't Kurt get it?
I've got it written as Zack.
Oh, I must have seen it wrong.
I also may have wrote it down.
Yeah, I feel like I swear Kurt did it, because I remember watching and I was thinking to myself, could this mean he's now on an undefeated streak? Like, is this going to take a full 180 and Kurt Hawkins is just going to do like a full undefeated streak
Next thing
now?
he gets 269 wins.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. So like, I remember noting it down today. I didn't bring my notepad. I've got but I remember writing it down like, undefeated streak ? Like, could this be it?
I'm unsure. It was interesting. Like I said, I understand. I said, now that you've sort of explained the point of the idea of them doing it again as a way to clarify and double check, that makes total sense. And they're like, okay, cool. Well, they've won it legitimately. Because I was disappointed to see the same match. Once again, with the idea of Raw, post Raw, it should be awesome. And I'm like, why am I seeing the same?
Yeah. See, I knew that it was a sort of like a hope this isn't a fluke type match. So I was all for it. I was excited to see it again. I was excited to see Ryder and Hawkins prove themselves once more. That they are, they were once upon a time, and they are again a very big force to reckon with.
Because they have been a tag team in the past.
They have, yes.
Well.
Exactly it.
So it's nice to see that happen again. Speaking of things happening again, Baron Corbin makes his way into the ring to talk about how he dismantled the Olympic champion, and if anything, I should have, in most matches, if someone there's a belt, I win the belt. There's no belt, but there's a medal. Can I take his medal?
Yeah,
that was very,
I
very
need a gold medal.
Very clever, and because Baron Corbin's a dickhole, it kind of worked to him.
I did love that the list of accomplishments is getting longer and longer at the start of his entrance. That's the longer it gets, the more hilarious I find it, and the more I'm sort of starting to appreciate it. Like, Baron Corbin can go in the bin, but that little intro is just great. Yeah.
It was good. Like, they did add some more things into that, which was great. Yeah. So Kurt Angle shows up.
Da, da.
So he comes into the ring and gets face-to-face with Corbin, and so, if my memory serves me right, it was the idea of, you did well, congratulations, you beat me.
Yep.
They shook hands, or tried to shake hands.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they did, but everybody, like, the announcers kept saying, oh, a left-hand shake, and I was like, oh, left-hand shake, is there something bad about the shaking with your left hand? Apparently, like, the left-hand shake is like the, I'm going to kick your ass.
Effort.
Yeah. And
because if you're right-handed, you shake with your left so you can punch with your right.
Mm-hmm.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Which, exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle socks Baron in the face. We do get an ankle slam, I believe. Slam. And there was also an ankle lock as well, which was awesome. So it did leave in a like, Baron Corbin, like we got the comeuppance that we wanted, which I was very, very happy with. Then an unknown music hits. I myself didn't recognize the music. Mm-hmm. Did you?
No, just quickly though, I did want to mention with that handshake as well, something that Kurt Angle said that was just absolutely perfect before he ripped him into the angle slam. He's like, I just want to wish you luck in your future endeavors. Bad luck.
Buzz.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
That's
damn.
old school right
But
there.
yeah, music hits and I'm same as you. I was like, the what?
Yeah, guys at the moment of, oh, who's that? Why are they getting involved in? Oh, and then you see this weirdly shaped person walking in a silhouette. I'm like, who the fuck is? And here he is. Finally, Lars Sullivan makes his first appearance on the main roster after what should have been his initial call up in November of last year. As for those in the know, he has been off behind the scenes due to some personal issues. Yes. So it was nice to see him come back.
Even if he is, he comes out, he attacks Kurt Angle.
Monsters.
Yeah, absolutely just tears through him. Even if he is this new monster, I was so excited for it. Obviously there's been such a huge build up to Lars coming to the main roster. So I was really excited to finally see that he is okay and he's finally making that debut. He does give me a very huge, I don't know if you ever saw this guy or if you know anything about him. He gives me these crazy Gene Snitsky vibes.
No, nothing.
Look up Gene Snitsky. He was a very interesting character and I really liked it because he was just like the perfect bad guy, and this is how I feel about Lars Sullivan.
Say that I was listening to another podcast and they talked about how Lars Sullivan looks like what you imagine a child would draw as a bad guy. Like his proportions are all fucked. He's got a weird beard. He's scary and his mouth's open. And it's like, I kind of get that. Yeah, but he did come in. He did drop a mad power bomb. Power slam. So like a big up and not a power bomb, but a big old choke slammy looking thing. Then a top rope headbutt.
Yeah, that was interesting to watch him climb the ropes.
Yeah, when I was getting, I'm like, oh my god,
300 and something pounds.
Yeah, my Kurt's gonna die.
Yeah, I was like, okay, something's gonna shatter that poor guy. Like,
but saying that though, it did make me very excited because it came from that idea of when we were discussing earlier in the year, and I believe it was late last year as well. The whole idea of these, hey, Lars Sullivan, he's a freak. He's coming to get you. I'm like, okay, I'm sick of seeing this promo. Can we see him already? And then he disappeared. Then we heard nothing. And I'm glad we've been able to, even just this short moment, it's given us enough for me to go, oh, now I see why he's here.
Yes.
I know why he's here now because he is a dude.
Yeah.
And he is going to be a bad guy. And he is going to punch a lot of people's in the face.
Yeah, it's going to be that head. It's going to be very interesting to see that headbutt quite a bit.
Yeah. I guys want to see more people get headbutted. Doesn't happen a lot.
No.
Next up, we had Alexa Bliss in her first in-ring return since the Rumble.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so first TV return in ring, aside from her moment on the Rumble.
Yeah, so
and it was against Bayley.
Yeah, so she had earlier in the day issued an open challenge to Sasha and Bayley, or both of them, on Twitter saying, you really dropped the ball last night. I bet I could take you both on tonight. One of you come fight me. So she obviously stands in the ring waiting, and Bayley answered the call. Which is super good on you, Bayley. You took a beating the night prior and to still come out and,
took a beating again.
Yeah, take a beating again. But, it's super admirable that she still came out to sort of defend her own sort of herself and her self-worth, and that was really cool to see.
There were some noticeable differences in this Bayley though. There's a lot more vicious, there's a lot more fury in what she was doing, and whether that comes from something else, or that's a self-disappointment in losing the belts. Is it a frustration at Bliss from an antagonized perspective? I don't know where this is coming from, and it's why wasn't Sasha ringside with her? Although Bayley may have made the decision, why wasn't Sasha there?
Exactly.
Or vice versa if it would go that other way, right? So it's very interesting.
Yeah, she was a very angry Bailey. I did notice.
Yeah, she was very pissed, very pissing.
Ooh.
But she did get mushed pretty quick.
Yeah, she did.
Alexa did win with a so brutal I burped a little bit. A brutal DDT.
Yeah, that
Shouldn't
was
have lifted
vicious.
my head up because that head up just opened my airways and out it came. My bad, my apologies.
It was vicious. That was a DDT and a half. I was like, as soon as I heard it hit, I was like, ow.
It was and no, you got to be a pin there. And because I'm pretty sure she's unconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Next, we get old Becky 2 belts.
Becky 2 belts.
Yeah, she makes her way into the ring.
The champ.
The double champ to talk about, having the belts and what it's nice and all these things and sort of being the first gloat now that she has the belts. So with Mania ending, with her getting those belts in the air and escorting out, there wasn't any time to talk about it, and this is where she gets to share some gushing about it.
Yeah, all power to her. She deserves it. She's the man.
Yeah, plenty of people just singing the tune.
Yeah, everybody's like, whoa.
External to her, like the music stopped and everyone kept going.
Yeah,
there was
so
"You Deserves It."
Yeah,
there was a lot of chanting.
She started the Becky 2 belt champ and it caught on straight away. Everybody's like, Becky 2 belt.
There's already a shirt. I want it.
Love it. It's so good. It was phenomenal. I think I was honestly, like, weirdly enough, at that point, I wasn't interested in Becky speaking. I was interested in just listening to the crowd. Like, if she had stood there for 10 minutes and just let them go, I would have been like, yes, this is the greatest.
See, what's amazing for me is because a lot of the time with Raw and SmackDown, there are those diehards in there that are doing all the extra, but a lot of these people may not be always switched in. Like, they may just be like, oh, it's in town, I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
So for that reason, the crowd isn't quite as massive as it could be. Or when I say massive, that's in terms of the signs. That's in terms of the chanting. Like, all these additional things. So with post-Mania, everyone in that room was a Mania. Yeah. So, like, these are the right people, the right crowd doing exactly what they should. And they are just getting involved. And
it was amazing.
It was awesome.
So good. But yeah, Becky has a little gloat. And as she's gloating, she gets interrupted by Alicia.
Yeah, so as has become common practice, when anyone fucking talks, Lacey Evans' music kicks and she makes her way down the ramp. Now, this was as Becky was leaving after her chat, so they did cross paths. They got down to the end. Lacey looks directly in Becky's old face and then socks her square in the jaw.
Vicious right hand.
Like a proper, like, budos.
Just like full arms up, thick punch straight in the jaw, and I was like, oh, damn. And Becky just gets straight up and starts belting into her, and it is unlike Donkey Kong.
Yes, I was watching it with, once again, at work with Luke, who's Paris' son, and he noticed when second she lifted her arm up, he goes, man, her lats are huge. Yeah. And because they're just like wings. Yeah. And like all of that tone and muscle went burst inside Becky's face.
Yeah, she's built really well. Like, I'll give Lacey Evans credit. Like, I like looking at her arms because they are just so well, like, sculpted. Yeah, she's jacked. And, that little brawl, props to her for brawling in heels. Like, I do that. Like, I can kind of relate to Lacey Evans right there. Like,
you brawl in heels.
We're blonde and we brawl in heels. Like, I'm all about it. Like, but that was fun. That was so fun to see. Like, and then obviously, like, it spills up the ramp and across near the announcers table. And as Becky's trying to get the disarmer on Lacey, she does sort of weasel out and get down and sort of out of the way off the staging. And I was just like, oh, I want this. Like, initially I was like, oh, Lacey Evans, and now I'm like, okay, yeah.
See, it was really cool. It was good for me to see. I'm like, finally, we're getting something out of all these entrances, and it beautifully fit my theory. I was like, I guarantee you, once Charlotte is out of the picture in whatever way, that is when Lacey will make her opportunity. So she'll come in and she'll sock whoever happens to be the champ at the time. Yeah. As ideally, I was like, well, cool, we can't have Becky fight Charlotte again. We've seen that. Yeah, that's boring. Exactly. And I guarantee you, even Charlotte's like, I'm done with that. Yeah. So I'm like, well, who can they replace that with? Lacey. It makes no fucking sense. Exactly. And I was very happy with their result, and there was a good solid punch out between the two of them, and it makes me kind of excited to see what can happen in the future.
I love that Becky did tweet. She's like, oh, so I it looks like my first challenger will be the second Charlotte. I don't mean to, like, throw out assumptions here, but I have a feeling the WWE has a type, which is obviously your built blonde hair. Yeah, definitely. She is the chosen child now, so we do know that
the second coming.
Yeah, I have heard like around that. Yeah, she is one of Vince's chosen children.
Well, that's true. Like when the call up did happen, there were those comments that Dash did pass on to us under his dirt sheets. He was like, they want Lacey Evans to be the next main eventer alongside Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda.
Yeah,
like that's what they
I can
wanted,
see her doing
and.
It.
I always want, like, I went from fact that we've not seen anything into this point. I'm like, I don't know how that's going to go. I don't see that being a likely occurrence, and I can see the potential there.
Yeah,
I think the potential is certainly there, and this chair is still going down, and I'm gonna throw it out the door in there.
After that punch, I can see the strength in Lacey Evans. I can see that there's definitely a fight there, and I am very interested to see what she can do in the future.
Next up, we do get an interview with Seth and Charlie. Charlie's sort of asking him why he's essentially agreed to take on this winner takes all match. And for him, it was pretty much the idea of like, I respect Kofi. However, he did come in my house and did this. So for this reason, I'm totally accepting it. I'm super into it. Next, we get Ricochet and Aleister Black versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. What was interesting here is that although we have pretty good confirmation that both Aleister Black and Ricochet are no longer on NXT, they are confirmed in the main roster. They are still coming up as NXT people in their names at the bottom.
Yeah.
Of the
I feel like that is just until the shake-up. Obviously, they don't.
Once they get their permanent place.
Yeah, they don't have a permanent home at this stage. So the best bet for them is to just keep them under the NXT tag until next week when the shake-up happens. Yeah,
because even when example Becky, when she does come across before she was even though she was on SmackDown, she still came across the Raw. They did use the same Raw at the bottom. They didn't make it a SmackDown thing. So interesting decision. Very, very cool. So the match was adequate.
I enjoyed it. I do like watching. I think Bobby Roode and Chad Gable are a phenomenal tag team. They are phenomenal athletes as individuals and as a team. And obviously so are Ricochet and Aleister Black. So I always enjoy watching those matches. Even though it is a lot of the same things you see, the same moves, the same sort of stuff, it's still always super engaging because they are just so good at it. It's weird. Like whenever I do hear their music, except for Aleister Black, I still dig it. Yeah, I'm like, oh man, I've seen these guys like 1,000 times. And my part of me goes, and then they start wrestling. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I get it. No, I can't. Like, I can't complain. I want more of this. Just give me all of this. But yeah, so it was a win to them. I didn't note down here who. I'm sorry, I did go to the NXT guys. I didn't note who got the win on who. I'm pretty sure it was a black mass into a 630. I can't remember who took. Yeah, it was a double. Yes, I'm saying it was a double finisher, but I couldn't tell you who took it. Usually how they finish the match. Once that bell did ring, Bobby did come in and attack post the bell. Therefore, Chad Gable got the pin. Yes. Answer my own question. Yeah. Just by reading slightly ahead. Yeah. There you go. I don't know where this is going. I do still agree that Bobby Roode and Chad Gable would be better if they were separated. Yeah, definitely. And we did see that when Chad Gable versus Kurt Angle. Like, he's phenomenal. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. Next, we get this weird Bird Box thing. Yeah. Now, that's not Bird Box in terms of the Netflix special, and so the Netflix movie starring Sandra Bullock. It was a sort of like a box you would see at the back of a store. So things coming in it. The box pops open. Out comes this weird vulture-esque looking thing, and it kind of there's smoke and it glass and it makes weird things. It's got very very interesting, and I don't know what it is. Let's speculate. I have no idea. I looked at it. It does rock up on SmackDown as well. And it's the same clip. I watching it on both. I looked at it and I'm like, I don't understand. What could this be? And then you said to me earlier tonight, you're like, speculating, like possibly could it finally be Bray Wyatt? Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I was running through the list of potential people that it could be, and people that we know that
or have recovered from said injuries and ready to rock and roll, but don't quite have a spot. So there's a debut, a return that we see tonight on Raw and also on SmackDown. And on top of that, we've seen the likes of, Luke Harper return in the Battle Royal. So there's only a handful of people that are still out. One of the people because I saw another YouTube video that was like the list of potential people. And on that list, they put Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, that is not a Dolph Ziggler thing.
I wouldn't.
Although Dolph is off being a stand-up right now.
Yeah.
I don't, that's no. In terms of the kookiness and sort of the, I don't know. It because it's weird. That's why it seems to fit as Bray, but
it fits his MO.
It may also not be. It could be fucking anyone. It could be a brand new person. For
that's true.
Next we got Dean Ambrose versus Bobby Lashley. This is Dean's last ever match on the WWE. So it did kick off with Bobby coming in and laying down some smack.
Well, yeah, Leo was trying to speak and he was speechless. And I was like, since when is Leo Rush speechless? Like, when does that happen? I was quite interested to see that. So, Bobby.
Yeah, that's something that caught my attention too, as I always say.
But yeah, obviously Bobby speaks.
Yeah, so Bobby says that he... he's acknowledged that Dean is heading out, and he said that he's happy to take care of Renee while he's gone. I'm like, you bastard. Okay. And then I just wrote, Dean wrecks him.
Yeah.
So Dean proceeds to start pounding the crap out of him. The bell hasn't rung yet, so it's
obviously
just proper
furious.
Dawson. And they did eventually end up in the announcer table. Dean was getting it prepared to sort of send Bobby through it. A bit of a reversal, and Bobby ends up being the one to put Dean through the table. And
Leo Rush is standing there waving at Renee. I was like, oh, you piece of shit.
Yeah, so while like Dean looked hurt, really, really hurt.
Yeah.
So Renee comes to his aid, and sort of, we get cut to a commercial break. But this is it's a weird situation here. So although this is Dean's last ever match on WWE, last ever appearance, I guess, it wasn't really a match.
No.
The bell never went, and we never got an outcome.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a little saddened in that sense.
Definitely.
I am sad to see Dean go.
Me too.
I
love the lunatic fringe.
I do like him too, and I love his dirty deeds, and I'm sad that I don't want you to see that anymore. And
his humor. He's so funny when he gets a microphone in his hand. So funny.
Yeah, it is a real loss. And I do hope that maybe at some point he comes back.
I'd love to see him.
Whether it be in a wrestling format or maybe something else. Although as the Lunatic Fringe, it might not be the best thing to have him as a manager or as a GM.
It'd be interesting for
sure.
It
would be chaos, and I would love to see that. So, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, cool.
Speaking of chaos, next we get Sami Zayn return. He runs out, falls over, the crowd goes bonkers.
I love that he just sort of lays out like, this is fun, I meant this.
Yeah, like he ate shit on the way in and recovered.
Loved it.
It was very interesting. So Sami Zayn, I should mention Sami Zayn, this is, you first see him walking in the back.
Yeah, saying hi to people, super happy.
Then we see Mojo Rawley talking to the mirror once again.
Yeah.
However, this time he's got some gnarly eye face paint on, and the mirror is broken.
That was interesting. Maybe Mojo is our new lunatic friend.
Oh, yeah. Once again, having not seen a lot of Mojo Rawley, I'm not quite sure what we're in store for here or what he has. If there are any drastic changes to Mojo, I don't know what they are because I haven't seen them before.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an interesting one there.
Yeah, definitely.
So then we did have Sami Zayn into the arena. So I've talked about, he's been off for the better part of 10 months with 2 rotary cup replacements in his shoulders, both shoulders. So he has been pretty out and about. And he says, look, I've been gone a very long time, and I'm feeling like a match right about now. So who wants to come in and take me on?
Yep. Schedule's clear, guys. Who wants to fight me?
He's like, it might surprise you, but my schedule's pretty clear.
Yeah. See, this is my first experience with Sami Zayn, so I was very interested to see this. I was like, who are you? I'm so excited to see this because obviously, like, I've only just come back into it maybe between 4 and 6 months ago. So, obviously, Sami Zayn's been out for 10. So, it's,
Yeah, so as long as I've been back in wrestling, I haven't seen him. Like, he's been out since Money in the Bank, which is June of last year.
There you go.
So I've not seen him recently. Like, I'm aware of who he is. I'm aware of his connections to Kevin Owens, and they sort of were these two men of hijinks. They sort of teamed up together. We're yet to see him with Kevin. Apparently, they did exchange some words after the recording of SmackDown.
Interesting.
But we've not seen anything televised yet. Finn Balor responds to Sami Zayn and comes out to confirm that it is also an Intercontinental Championship match.
Finn Balor's a fighting champion. The least he could do for Sami Zayn, who was finally back from injury.
Give him a shot.
Give him a shot. Exactly. He did say, obviously, like, last night was WrestleMania, and they say if you can't make WrestleMania, the next best thing is the Raw after.
No one's ever said that, but I'm cool with it.
Sami Zayn said that, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was really admirable and honorable of Finn Balor to give that offer up, especially because from understanding of what the commentators were saying, they do have a history.
Which is something once again I'm not aware of. I'm like, cool, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, exactly,
now we should also mention Finn Balor rocking blue shorts compared to his regular red shorts. Shake-up's coming. # Finn Balor to SmackDown. Share is dropping down again. There it goes. But yeah, it did end with Finn getting the win via his classic coup de grace. What do you think of the match?
I thought it was really good. Especially, obviously, considering that Sami Zayn has, recently had surgery on both shoulders, and Finn obviously knew that and was targeting that.
Yeah, he was very smart. He was focusing a lot on the arms and the shoulders.
Yeah, definitely. But I think for somebody who's returning after 10 months, Sami Zayn did a phenomenal job. Definitely did a phenomenal job. Obviously, Finn was the better man. There's a reason he is the champion right now. But yeah, it was really cool to see how close Finn came to losing that on Sami's behalf. That was really cool.
Yeah, Sami did certainly not give up anything. Although he did leave without the win, he certainly put up a solid fight. And after 10 months off, that's kind of all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you can't come expecting to win. Like, there will be some rust there, and it's good to see that he did all right.
Yeah.
But then, before this is all done and dusted, Sami does pull the mic up, man. If anything, I can tell that you guys miss me. Yeah. By God, did I not miss you? I'm like, you dick.
Yeah.
So before Sami did, fuck this chair so much, man. So before Sami did leave, he was in the bit of the bad guy space. So he just sort of continuing where he left off, which is really cool. I talked a lot about how
toxic
the WWE universe are, and it's almost very Daniel Bryan-esque, actually.
Yeah.
And he talks about how anyone that watches this doesn't even actually really enjoy it. They just watch it so they can bitch about it on the internet.
Yeah, fill a void. And
like, it's interesting. So saying that, like, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So we don't bitch about it, but we do talk about it on the internet.
Yeah.
And that's what the internet's full of. The internet is full of people that just bitch about WWE. So the points that he's bringing up seem to be in the same way that Daniel Bryan brings up issues that were correct and relevant and real. He's just a dick about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Sami Zayn is going to fall as well. So, because I'm myself, when he's like, you all think you critics. I'm like, but
we are.
But I'm a critic. And it's like, oh, he's having a go at me directly. I feel
personally attacked.
I've never felt personally attacked by all the guy, like all the heelness, and they're like, "You're all shit. You feel the void." I'm like, yeah, I like buying the shirts. I like eating shitty food. That's me. I got no offense here. Nice try, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could this be an alliance?
I don't believe so, but I like where you're going though. Yeah. I like where you're going. But yeah, no, he's like, I've never felt like you all suck. Everyone at home. I'm like, no, that's fine. That's good. And there's like, you all think you're critics. Like, oh man.
Straight in the heart.
Oh, that's directly at me, you bastard.
That was very interesting to watch.
How did you feel? Because as someone not knowing Sami Zayn, what were your thoughts on?
I was
seeing
so
him?
shocked. Yeah, I was so shocked. I guess obviously when he came out, everybody was losing their minds. Everything was so happy. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, this guy must be super cool. These guys must love him. Like, I'm gonna love him. And the next minute, like, you're all a bit shit. And I'm just like, aw, I was gunning for you like a minute ago. Like, how dare you?
You're all a bit shit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Aw. Oh, okay, well, I guess that's fine.
I am a bit shit.
Yeah, I am just a little bit shit, but like, way to dig the knife in there, Sami Zayn. But I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, I want to see some more. I'm very excited.
I definitely do too.
Dana Brooke did come out in an interview with Charlie, I believe, to congratulate Becky.
She said something along the lines of like,
she wants a shot of the belt, pretty much. Yeah.
She's like, I'm in line for this. I'm not the first in line, but I'm definitely not the last in line anymore. But I am in line, and when my time comes, I'm going to seize that moment. But all said and done, congratulations, Becky.
See, I wrote here fucking sucked. So in no way do I believe her. I don't believe that she is in any place to be in the line for the belt, or to even sound believable that she should have a shot at the belt. Like, if I was Vince McMahon and she came up to me and said that, I'd be like, I don't believe you. You are not getting a go.
Take it easy, Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, calm your fuck down.
Yeah, no, see, I like Dana Brooke. I don't know what it is. I think there's just this genuine, like, heartfeltness about her that I love. She's so raw. She's so real. She does have some pretty good strength behind her, but she hasn't been able to showcase it, which bums me out. But I genuinely like Dana Brooke, and I would love to see her, like, I'd love to see, like, a number one contenders. And I'd love to see Dana Brooke go up against Lacey Evans, to be perfectly honest with you. I like Dana.
The problem that
I see your problem.
The problem that Dana is facing. So since the sort of dismantling of Titus Worldwide, she's not done a whole lot. Like, she's been there.
Titus World Slide, you mean?
Yeah. Hey.
He's never gonna live down.
No, I showed. Because we watched at work today in the afternoon. We watched the 2018 Women's Royal Rumble, which is demonstrating how amazing women wrestlers are. And they also showed some of, like, because that 2018 had a lot of the legends in there, like Lita, Trish, Kelly, all sorts
amazing.
Of stuff. So I was like, watch this, and they're like, is anyone eating shit on the run in? I'm like, hold on a minute. But yeah, so she feels like she's floundering. I think Dana Brooke, in terms of what we were saying before about a mid-card belt, Dana Brooke is totally in the right place to take on a women's mid-card belt.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
I think that's where where she should be. I think that's where she should fit.
Dana against your Ruby Riots and your Mandy Roses and your Sonya Deville's. Like, definitely.
That, to me, is a more likely option.
Yeah, definitely.
Elias. So next, we cut to Elias sitting in the ring, and during his delivery here, he shits on Cena pretty much.
Yes.
To the likes of, look, he comes out here and raps me. Rapping is that hard with my fucking guitar, and he lays down some reasonably solid bars, like nothing too.
He even uses that word in there. He rhymes stars with bars. Yeah. I was like, damn, Elias, like, chuck on a thick chain and come out with some word life rings on, and we have John Cena 2.0.
But what I write here, I go, raged about how Cena is a butt.
Yeah.
And he didn't say that, but
that's essentially the whole thing.
That's kind of his point.
Yep, that was essentially what he was saying.
And the final line that he said was, the next person to interrupt me is a dead man, which... for most people is like,
immediately I was like, where's the gong?
I'm like, because most people will be like, oh, he's gonna punch him, but I had the same as you. I'm like,
yeah. I was like, where's the gong?
Gong.
And then boom,
motherfucking Undertaker, the Phenom, the dead man, returned to Monday Night Raw.
I didn't believe it until I saw the close-up of him. I was like, it's John Cena dressed up or something like that, just to shit on.
That's totally true.
Yeah.
For a long time, I'm looking at his face, and it looks slightly... he has
all shadowy.
Different haircut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that's...
It's not...
Is that the fake Undertaker? Is that Underfaker?
Underfaker?
Like, is that not a real person?
That's great.
Like, because, we know that, Undertaker's quite old now.
Yes.
Even for a mortal dead man, he is aging.
Yes. Even dead man age.
So my concern was, I'm like, is this a fake Undertaker?
I was thinking the same thing.
But no, the
Close-up.
second he gets in, they get the close up. I'm like, oh no, that is the Undertaker.
That music
it was
so eerily beautiful.
So during this whole time, look, if this chair goes down, I'm just gonna
Just stay.
sit like a little
Just
person.
Just get on my level.
Yeah, I'm gonna get below your level. That's the only downside. If I get any lower, it's gonna look like I'm squaring.
I can go down.
Oh, okay, cool. But then there's like all this additional extra shot up here. Cool, thank you, I appreciate that. Because if I get any lower, I'm looking straight at your boobs here, and I'm not cool with that.
Here we go. Hello, I am Hornswoggle now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hide under the table and pop out a random
Gem
time.
Swoggle.
Gem
So during all this kerfuffle, Elias is slowly creeping his way to the corner, and he almost gets out, and you can see he's like
hesitating. He's contemplating. Do I?
No, I've got this. Yeah. And like, what's great? So in previous interviews, Elias has said they've asked him like, who would you ever want to take on? He's like, I want to fucking punch Undertaker, and I want to fucking punch John Cena.
Yeah, I want to douche him.
I want to douche him real hard, and then sure enough, within 2 days, he gets both. I'm like, oh, Elias, your prayers have been answered.
Yeah, it was phenomenal because obviously Elias goes back and he's like, oh, I'll hit it. No, I won't hit him. Oh, and in the minute he turns around and he goes to run, the boot to the face, straight down. Undertaker doesn't even like move a muscle. His belt, his jacket doesn't even shake. His
foot gets so high.
Yeah. He's ridiculous. For an older dude, he's still like agile as shit.
Up in my boots.
Yeah.
And then picks him up, choke slams him, then gets up, gives him the tombstone pile driver, and it wasn't even a match, and the crowd's like, do the arm thing!
Yeah.
So they do the arm cross, and the crowd goes, 1, 2, 3. And it's not even a match, and it was awesome.
It was a phenomenal moment. Hey!
I like that one.
Yeah. Thank you. It was beautiful. It is exactly, obviously we didn't see Undertaker at Mania, so it was exactly what I wanted.
As you mentioned, the first 18 years, without the Takers being there, was weird to not have him there. Saying that though, it was a brilliant thing to see him on
beautiful.
Raw. As someone did say once, if you can't be on Mania, at least be on Raw the next day.
Yeah.
So, the great words of Sami Zayn.
Wise man.
Wise man, dead man.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to see that. It was a good pop. Now, on top of that, as Dash has spoken to us in the past, there may be some animosity with Vince McMahon and Undertaker at the moment, just due to some other mix-ups, or not mix-ups, other work with StarCast, which was an expo that did take place over the weekend, and there were a lot of AEW people involved. So I'd like to think those issues have been rectified or sorted. Maybe they've come to an agreement in some terms. But that's the business part of wrestling. That's the boring part of wrestling. Speaking of not so boring parts of wrestling, we get the winner takes all match for the Universal Championship and the WWE Championship with Kofi Kingston versus Seth Rollins, respectfully.
We do need to mention earlier in the night, Kofi Kingston did say to Seth Rollins, he's like, no disrespect, but I know the Shield's not a thing. So if you don't have anybody in your corner, I'm not going to have anybody in my corner, which was super admirable.
Yeah, so the new day were nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, they were out the back. I do also need to give a massive mention to that amazing split that Big E did.
Oh my god, that split was
so good. Seth Rollins was surprised. He's like, he's in a full split, and Big E's like, yeah. Amazing. That was
what are you
great.
going to do about it? I'm in a split.
I completely forgot about that until now, but big props to Big E because that was an amazing split. Good job. I can't even do that.
Oh, I certainly can't.
So it is one-on-one Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston. It is exactly what I wanted from both of them. They are phenomenal. They really showcased why they are champions.
Yeah, saying that though, we certainly did not get a full match. It started off strong, and then oddly enough, we get the the second least impressive tag team, second to Rusev and Nakamura. We got The Bar.
And you know what? I was thinking about it today. Obviously, back in the day, there was a little promo with Sheamus and Beaker from the Muppets. And I was thinking, hey, it's Beaker and the Doctor. Because, you know, Cesaro's got the bald head and stuff, like the doctor that works with Beaker. And I was just like, holy shit, it's the Muppets.
Whoa. Well, they are kind of Muppets. And I do like how we're so low, the microphone's pretty much in my eye hole.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, oh, here we go. So they obviously interrupt. It is a DQ, which means no titles change hands.
Yep, of course.
And yeah, so obviously Kofi and Seth are getting the beat down on them. They do end up getting the upper hand on Sheamus and Cesaro.
So yeah, during this little scuffle, is like, this ain't, essentially along the lines of, this ain't cool, man. You know what? Let's make this a tag team. Tag match. Champions versus whatever the fuck you guys are.
The Bar.
Yeah. So the match was all right. And as to be expected when you're versing two champions, the Bar get proper mushed with a Trouble in Paradise. I believe it may have been on Sheamus.
Yes.
To be followed by a curb stomp from Seth to get the pin.
Oh no, the curb stomp, there was a curb stomp on Cesaro. And that curb stomp on Cesaro was ridiculous because he literally like flipped over.
He's like, what?
I was like, oh damn. So yeah, I do believe it was Cesaro that took the pin.
No, it was certainly Sheamus. It was certainly Sheamus.
It was Sheamus. Yeah. I don't care, that curb stomp was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was great.
That was so good.
Saying that though, Sheamus has cost the Bar a lot of matches. There's been quite a numerous amount of pins on Sheamus here.
What a shame. Hey, sorry, I'll stop.
Fool us once, shame on us.
Yeah.
But that brings us to this episode of Raw.
I was happy. I was very happy. I watched it today. Obviously, I had a day in bed, a little recovery day, so I watched both shows today. And it was a great way to start the end of Mania week.
Yeah.
I was very, very happy with it overall. If I had to give it, honestly, I'd give it 2 thumbs up, 2 Kurt Angles. 2 Kurt Angles today. I was very impressed. I don't think anything was a low light for me in Raw this week. I was very, very happy. I mean, except from the Alexa Bliss Bayley match, which is like, meh, it wasn't enough for me to take any points away. I think it was a nice little addition to see, obviously, Alexa Bliss, who hosted Mania, actually have a match. That was a nice nod.
I agree with you. However, I would give it a 1.5 Kurt Angles, mostly because seeing the revival Kurt Hawkins match was a bit of a bummer. But seeing all the other matches did interest me a lot. Even Aleister Black, Ricochet, Bobby Roode, and Gable again. There was some stuff there, but what were standouts, as it were, the Taker, was Kurt Angle getting his comeuppance. It was the potential here with Sami Zayn. Like, there's enough there. And Lars coming in and being fucking huge.
Yeah.
There was a lot here that really swung in a positive direction, but my understanding is, post-Mania is supposed to be where it's new, big, and stuff we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Yet there were things we had seen before.
Yeah, see, I think because I understood it, I really appreciated it.
Agree. So let us know what you thought of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw in those comments below or on the social medias. Links are in the descriptions. Now I'm going to try to push the chair back up again.
Yeah.
Because I feel very, very low.
I can come up too. I feel like I just ate a mushroom in Mario.
And that is how you intermission.
Yeah.
From Raw to SmackDown. Now, as I was the main talker of Raw, you are the main talker of SmackDown.
I believe it was held in the same place.
Yeah, Barclays Center.
Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And we open with the New Day celebrating Kofi Kingston's win.
Big old banner of balloons.
Kofi's family in the crowd, pancakes all over the ring corners.
That was a lot of pancakes on those
I was hungry. I was like, I want pancakes. Absolutely beautiful. Obviously, Big E and Xavier Woods come out. They talk about how proud they are to know Kofi and to have been able to help him get into this position. They thank him for everything. Obviously, Xavier's like, I've met one of my heroes and this is huge to me. And yeah, Big E says the same. Kofi begins to thank them and his family. It's very, very beautiful. They get Big E in the split again, which was amazing. Come on, it was so good.
It was great. They're like, yeah, and Big E did a rad splits, and they're like, the crowd's like, do it. He's like, okay.
And it slowly goes down, and the horn goes, brrr. So good. But yeah, so Kofi's obviously, he's in the middle of thanking his family and the fans, and again, they get interrupted by the bar. So the bar talk about, there's 3 of you, there's 3 of us, we can beat you, like we're the big guys, wah, even though they got squashed the night before. And they're like, why don't we tonight have a 6-man tag match? And Big E's like, just doing a little maths here, and I think you get your maths wrong because you need to carry a 1 because there's 3 and 2, and they're like, yeah, so meet our guy.
Now, initially, I was like, is this how they bring Sullivan onto SmackDown?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, if they bring in Sullivan, that would be fucking... Oh, no. No, it's not who I expected.
You hear the gallantry, the Drew McIntyres. It's that's
just one. No, just one. Just one Drew McIntyre. Not Drew McIntyres. There's not many. There's
he's big enough to be 2 people. Come on, let's be honest.
Fucking huge.
But yeah, so Drew McIntyre enters. He is going to be the 3rd member of the 6-man tag match for the bar. So that would be our main event.
Salt delivery. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So that'd be our main event for the evening, which I was like, okay.
Thinking about that being your main event, what did you think about it?
I was like, okay, like they were the main event technically because they interrupted last night. Like, what's new? But at the same time, seeing them paired with Drew McIntyre, I was like, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, because like,
can he elevate the bar?
Drew has been a lone competitor for a very long time, saying that he was sort of part of
Three-Man
Bland, as I say a lot.
Yes.
Like, but even then, like, it's not the same setup. Like. I see him personally as more of a singles competitor. So that's why it was always so weird when he got involved with Baron and Lashley. And same here. I'm like, that's a weird choice.
Very
like, if you want to get a win, that's the dude you get. But
yeah, exactly it.
Still weird.
Yeah, exactly it. So next we have another 6-man tag match. We have Aleister Black and Ricochet and Ali.
Beautiful pairing.
Versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, and Andrade. Or Android, as we like to call him.
Interesting.
With Lana and Zelina Vega ringside. So I don't know how I felt about this. Coming into it, I was a bit like, okay, this is a weird, like, not weird pairing for Black, Ricochet, and Ali, but a weird pairing of putting Rusev and Nakamura with Andrade.
Yeah.
I thought it was very sort of slapped together.
Like, unless it's all because they're of different nationalities, like there is no reason to connect them.
Exactly it. A phenomenal match as always. I think the pairing of Black, Ricochet, and Ali was phenomenal. They are very athletic people. They gelled so well as a triple tag. There was this amazing bit there where Aleister Black went to do like a dive out of the ring and he does his little flip thing and sits down, and at the same time Ricochet comes flying in the ring and Ali comes in from behind him and they all just sit in this perfect little diagonal line. Like, I was like, oh, these guys are amazing. Like, this is
this the New Day?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this could be an amazing triple tag team. Like, I could see them facing the New Day.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane. They just gelled so well together.
And it was good to know that Ali's face wasn't caved in after his mad hit on the table.
I was so concerned about that, but apparently he was very okay. But yeah, Ali did an amazing job. He did end up picking up the win.
On Andrade, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He got the 450 splash on Andrade. And as they were celebrating, RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Randy!
Oh, Randy.
Oh, Randy.
We love you, Randy.
We love you, Randy. Yeah, exactly it. Oh my God, Randy. We love you, Randy.
We love you, Randy.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so good. And
this sort of continues on a feud that we saw last year with Andrade. With
Ali.
Randy and Ali.
Yeah.
That's the the Pride Elimination Chamber. That's what
Yeah.
got Ali so injured he couldn't compete at Chamber.
Exactly it. So that was so interesting. And then obviously Rusev, Ali's out injured. Randy Orton's done a walk away. Rusev gets up and he looks like he's about to attack. And then KO out of nowhere, Kevin Owens with a stunner.
Stone Cold Stunner.
A Stone Cold Stunner. And I was like, what is happening? Like, I was so baffled.
There's so much going on.
So much going on. It initially I was like, I don't know about this match. And then all of a sudden I was like, I am invested. What is going on? Like, what's going to happen here? And that's the last we see of Randy Orton and KO. And
Yeah, they just make their presence known, scoot off.
Ooh, what could this be working up
Yeah,
to?
what do you think? What's your thoughts?
I would love to see an Ali Orton one-on-one face-off.
Again, yeah, like it isn't again, but it's an again of I wanted more of that.
Yeah,
yet
exactly.
It stopped us.
Exactly it. No, yeah, I would love to see, I guess, a conclusion to that.
Yeah.
I don't think we did get that conclusion. So
Well, because think about it this way, right? Like, in terms of, let's get those little rumor mills going in our heads.
Mm-hmm.
The injuries that Ali sustained from the hands of Randy cost him a championship shot.
Exactly.
In the chamber, that was a shot for the belt. And Randy took that away from Ali.
He did.
I want to see the comeuppance here. I want to see
do.
Randy get laid out.
But then this for me brings up why KO? How does KO fit into all of this?
KO.
Yeah, maybe. And I don't know. I'm interested to see if maybe Kevin Owens and Randy Orton might have a little thing there. Could they be possibly eventually working together in a tag team, or could they both be going after Ali? Or I don't know. There's so many things going through my mind.
I like where you're going there. I don't, in terms of a tag team, it might be a little bit interesting to have, like, once again, the similarity in the name makes a good idea for a tag team. I don't know how you would name that, but that's fine. But why Rusev?
Yeah, that's what I was curious about, though. Why was it just time and place? Like, he was just there and that's why he attacked him?
Yeah.
Or was it a deliberate attack? Like, there's so many things. I'm so confused. And you know what? I love it.
Yeah, me too.
It opens up a whole new world of anything's possible. And I can't wait to see what anything happens.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, exactly it. So next backstage we have Kayla interviewing the Usos about their match that has been made with the Hardy Brothers. I was so excited to find this out. I was like, the Usos versus the Hardy Brothers, brothers versus brothers. Obviously, there's great chemistry.
This is the match that I wanted at Mania. And, like, granted, we didn't get it at Mania, but we're getting it here.
That's what they do. The night after the second night after WrestleMania is just as good.
And with no backlash this year, they can't be like, well, let's fix what we should have done at Mania.
Yeah.
Like, I guess we'll do it here.
Yep, exactly it. So the Usos go on to say, we're going to prove who are the better brothers. And not just that, we're going to prove who are the greatest tag team of all time. And then after that, we do... Oh, they drop their welcome to the Uso Penitentiary.
Once
and I was
again.
like, ruined.
It's so good up until that point. Like, the whole delivery. And I'm like, yes.
Oh,
Give it to me. Give me all of that oos. And then it's... Oh, fuck it.
Yeah. No. I was like, okay, that just ruined that whole moment. Thanks a lot, guys.
Really did.
So after this, we have R-Truth and Carmella in the ring. R-Truth goes on to say, obviously, we saw his hero John Cena, and then we saw Carmella beat Andre the Giant in the Royal Rumble. And she's like, not quite.
And none of that. Like, literally none of that.
Yeah, I won the Women's Battle Royale. And she talks about how, she couldn't have done it without R-Truth and his friendship, and how, this is going to move on to bigger and bigger things with her, because a year ago she did cash in her Money in the Bank to become the women's champion. And she gets very rudely interrupted by Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And he just comes barreling down to the ring, just barreling down. R-Truth rips off his jacket, tries to put the fight to Joe, but Joe just gets him into that cocaine clutch pretty much immediately. And before he's even out, he just throws him out of the ring, grabs a microphone, and is just like, I beat Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania in under 60 seconds. I could do that to anyone in this locker room who wants to challenge me in less time.
It was an interesting decision because the idea for me was like, why is he jumping R-Truth again? Like they're no longer. I don't believe that R-Truth is fighting for that belt anymore. So he's not a threat. But if you're Samoa Joe and you're like, when's my time to come in and show my dominance, show that I am the killer. I've taken out R-Truth before. I can do it again.
Yeah, exactly it. And he did get to R-Truth probably in under 60 seconds again.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, easy. And so to this, we hear a roar.
Yeah.
And Braun Strowman comes barreling down that runway straight after Samoa Joe. And I was like, oh, damn.
I want this. I didn't know that I wanted this. I want this so bad.
I didn't know that I wanted it, but spoon feed it to me. This is phenomenal. I was so freaking excited. I was like, yeah, you kick his ass. Like, you do it, Braun.
And then Joe jumps on Braun's back, tries to give him a clutch, and I'm like, you can't choke out Braun Strowman.
No, but like the fact that like Joe is so short in comparison that he had to jump on the middle rope to get into the cocaine clutch was phenomenal. And then like Braun just breaks out of it and almost gets him into the power slam. He was like this close, and Joe manages to weasel his way out of it and just duck out of the ring and do a runner. But I was like,
he grabs the belt and hightails.
Joe's met his match. Joe's met his match, and I was like, I need this match. I need it a lot. Just spoon feed it to me week after week, because this is. I want to see Joe have to climb the middle rope every time to get the cocaine clutch on Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that's his go-to.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be very interesting to see how that fares for him against someone who's like double his height. But yeah, that was
brilliant.
What did you think?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it, because I've always have a hard on for Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
And having him be on the red brand and sort of dominate almost everyone at this point, I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, bring him over here. And in terms of this, we'll get to our superstar shakeout predictions soon, but I think Braun's on that list, and by him going to SmackDown, he can be the monster to ton more people.
And I would love to see a strap on a belt on
thank you.
Yeah, I would love to see a belt on Braun Strowman.
It's like he's had a shot at the UC champ, so the UC belt, and he wasn't able to go there. I don't think he'll be going for the WWE championship. The Intercontinental Championship seems probably a little unattainable for Brock right now, but I think the United States Championship is probably where
definitely
he
within his reach.
Could have. Look, when you look at the competition, it's better for him. Like when you're looking at the likes of Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley, who he's dealt with in the past, I don't think he has a shot at Finn, especially currently, and with the risk of the Demon going to SmackDown and taking on the likes of Andrade and Ray and Joe, all people that are smaller than him. The only one that could be a potential concern could be Andrade, and even then, I want to see that match too.
Yes, I want to see anyone fight Braun.
I want to see Braun all the time.
We just want to see Braun. We just want to see people get these hands.
Give me more Braun.
Yeah.
I want to get them hands.
I want to get,
I'll get those hands.
We want to get those hands.
Get those hands together.
Braun can hold me up against a wall like you did Colin Jost.
Oh, damn.
Daddy. I'm kidding.
Like, I'm kidding, but really.
but deep down inside.
That's what she's asking for, deep down inside.
But after this, we do get segue. We do get the Iconics. They come out. Yes, we are so proud of
your women's tag team champions, might we add.
At WrestleMania, they defied all odds, in the words of Billy Kay, and they got those titles. So they go on to mention, we hear a lot about being fighting champs and, defending our titles. So we're going to do that tonight. We have the best wrestlers in Brooklyn.
The hell?
2 no-name girls, I believe their names.
The Brooklyn Bellas.
The Brooklyn Bells.
Bells.
Yep. Carissa and Kristen.
Sure.
Who apparently have a 45-0 winning streak. They are on a 45-match winning streak. They have not lost one match yet.
Some indie pricks.
Yep, some indie babes. the first girl, I can't remember her name. I think it might have been Carissa who was
No,
first.
that's not important.
She does she does fare well ish. But yeah, the Iconics just lay them both out and get the win, obviously, and they celebrate like crazy, like it's the biggest win of their lives. They did win Mania last night, but apparently that's not as big to celebrate. And we do catch a glimpse of Paige watching on from backstage.
Before we jump in on Paige, there's some interesting things here. Why bring two random fucking no ones to defend those belts? Like,
Easy win.
But why? But why? Like, it's this weird situation for me. Like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, well, there's no, like, are you that concerned about all the other women on the roster?
Touche.
You know what I mean? Like, are you, because they kind of did get a semi-dirty win at Mania, and maybe they knew that was lightning in the bottle, so if they can delay whoever they're taking on next, that's what I would do.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it was that filler, that sort of like push back, like we don't have to defend against anybody who could be at full potential right now. We're obviously going in a little bit hurt, a little bit battered, so this could be their way to still get a win. But
well, they had a day of rest, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah, exactly it. It's like semi-rest. So yeah, as we say, we do see Paige watching on in the back.
Glad to see more Paige.
Yeah.
Well, now that Paige is off, done promoting her film, I hope she comes back.
Yes.
Granted, they don't have GM roles anymore. Still want her around.
Exactly it. Which actually leads into something that could be leading to having Paige around. Kayla walks up and asks Paige, why are you here? And Paige says, I'm just here checking out, our women's tag team division. And I'm going to be bringing a tag team of my own next week. Ooh. So that to me puts in my head either Paige, obviously she can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah, with her neck injury.
Yeah, which makes me think either she's just introducing some people or she's managing some people.
My thought went a couple of ways. My initial thought was, Absolution! Wait, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are still a tag team. Ah, crap. It's like it ruined my initial. I'm like, Absolution's reforming? Oh, that means nothing because it never went anywhere.
Yeah, shit.
And then I was like, who else could it be? Maybe it's an NXT call up. And then you and I had very similar thoughts. I'm like, who's the NXT tag? Oh my God, the Sky Pirates.
Kairi Sane and Io Shirai. Immediately I was like, please. Because obviously, like, having Paige, like, my initial thought being Paige is going to manage a tag team. Obviously, Kairi and Io are Japanese women. They don't have very good English skills.
Like, yes, I think similar to Asuka, they both aren't quite as confident on the mic.
Yes.
Not in terms of an ability, but just more of a communication issue. Because they like English not being their first language, they're not quite that strong yet.
And we've seen with both Asuka and Shinsuke, for example, them on the mic is a very, very it's a very broken dialect. It's very hard to understand. It doesn't come across as menacing or what you'd want from a promo. Yeah,
so when you're having two people that may struggle to speak English, you get an English chick. You get Paige. So our personal predictions, you've heard it here first, that Paige will be the manager of the Sky Pirates, and that's who she's bringing.
The advocate of the Sky Pirates, Paige Heyman, if you will. But yeah, that whole speculation excites me.
It does. It continues on what she did for Absolution. She brought up Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose from NXT and used her power as Paige to push them forward. So she did wrestle with them initially, but once she got injured, she was in that managerial role and put Mandy and Sonya to a place where they are right now, and where they are, like, they're not the strongest contenders, but they're strong contenders regardless. It makes sense. Yeah,
she's clearly got that experience behind her, so it is something we know she can do.
Very excited for that.
Excited.
Very, very excited.
So after this, we do have Shane McMahon enter. He is clearly beat up after that match with The Miz. He's rocking a big old black eye.
Big old shiner.
He's limping in horribly. He is
no dancing around, no skipping.
Nah, just slowly hobbling down to the ring with his best in the world trophy just hanging around in the middle.
That's right.
Because that's what he does. So he does mention that obviously he did there was a bit of a beatdown with The Miz the night prior, or 2 nights prior. He mentions that the only reason anybody went to WrestleMania was to see his match against The Miz and to see him beat The Miz. Yep. No.
He talks about this
but nice try.
And then he talks about the black eye and how this black eye was received by Mr. Miz
Mr.
coming
George
in,
Mazzano.
Squaring up with him, you know, and like there was
advancing on him. Yeah. So Mr. Miz sucked him in the eye, gave him a big old black shiner.
That's not what, didn't even touch him.
Nah, exactly it. But apparently that's his. Which I gobbled it up. I was like, yeah, he gave you that shiner. God damn it. That's
Punch him again. Punch him again.
Yeah, exactly it.
Give us a money in the bank. Vince McMahon versus Baked Potato Miz. Shane McMahon, Miz ringside.
Yeah, exactly it. Bring it on.
Dad on dad.
Yeah, dad on dad.
Dad on dad action.
All for that.
Not as hot as you think.
So yeah, he mentions that. And then he goes on to say, you know, hey, George Hamilton, our ring announcer, get in here. Like, apparently he wasn't doing his intro with conviction again. To which George says, look, I was outside before the show. I was threatened by some people saying if I did give you the proper intro, they'd hurt me. And Shane was like, the only person you need to worry about hurting you is me. Don't worry about these people. I'm the one that will do damage. Do it and do it properly. So he keeps trying. Poor old Greg's trying to do it. Shane's like, not good enough. Grabs him by the tie. Tries again. Not good enough. Starts dragging him out of the ring and up the ramp. And he's like, do it properly or the repercussions will be real. And he's like, oh shit. And he finally does it. And Shane's like, meh, good enough, and walks away. I was like, what?
When your boss does, that's abusing your boss power there.
Yeah, exactly. That is definitely an abuse of power right there. Poor George, man. I won't be surprised. Oh, Greg, sorry. I won't be surprised if Jeff. No, I'm kidding. I won't be surprised if Greg Hamilton is not around next week, or if he deliberately does not speak Shane's intro.
Yeah, he's injured.
We will see.
He has a stunt man. A pretendy person come in and do it. Then,
One thing that I did find super interesting though was why Shane was talking, and he was talking about being the best in the world and stuff like that. People started chanting CM Punk.
Yeah, it's very.
They started chanting CM Punk like he is the best in the world. There were oddly
CM Punk chants at Raw as well. Once we got the swerve of the bar, there were chants to we want refunds. AEW, CM Punk,
yeah. So I was very interested to hear the CM Punk chants and just Shane go, as if.
Yeah.
That was because we all know CM Punk is never coming back.
He's not coming back.
There's no chance.
That bridge is not just burnt; it's demolished.
It's completely severed. Yep. So obviously it ends with Mr. Greg Hamilton just walking back to the ring and Shane disappearing. And the next we have the Hardy Boys versus the Uso for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. And the thumb guns, and the guns, and the thrusting, and the Hardy Boys are everything for me. I grew up wanting to be leader. I wanted to be the side chick of the Hardy Boys. I wanted to be that tattered, badass brunette with a thong up over her hip near her fucking tits. Like, I wanted that shit so hard. I have Lita's biography at home. I am obsessed with this woman. So the Hardy Boys being a huge integral part of what Lita was, they were a huge integral part of what I was. I wanted my ears stretched like Jeff Hardy. I wanted tattoos like him.
You've pretty much done it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much there. I am one of the Hardys.
Jim Hardy.
Yeah, exactly it. I am. I was so excited for this to see them.
Charismatic Jim Nigma. No. Oh, thank you. I almost went really bad there.
Yeah, no, Nigma. Like Edward Nigma, like Enigma. But yeah, I was so stoked for this match. I was really excited. I'm blown away. I'm glad we got the Hardys entrance and not the Usos. Yeah. That was really exciting. I always love watching those guys come to the ring. This was just like this for me was like this is the only tag titles that they haven't held. So please, dear God, please take it off the Usos' hands.
There's a lot to pick up here. noticed Jeff Hardy's not rocking his makeup.
Which is classic Hardy's. He never used to wear makeup.
Yes, but he has in the past. Like in recent matches, he has.
Yes.
So that was very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was a throwback to sort of, like I said, classic Hardy bros.
And maybe because, like the idea of with that, well, from my understanding with that makeup, it's that because the eyes are always open, you're always watching, you're always, it's almost like that he's always looking, as in he can never close his eyes.
Yes.
But now with his brother back.
His brother's got his back.
He doesn't. He's not alone anymore. He doesn't need to keep a constant eye on everyone. So
he's got eyes on his back.
I think for that, there's a bit more.
There's something
there.
underneath it.
I'd say so. But if we do see that makeup again next week, I'm wrong. But
no, I definitely think you're onto something there. These guys for so long, they've been at it for 23 years. 27.
7 years, 27 total years.
27 total years
wrestlers.
as a tag team.
Yeah.
And brothers for a lot longer.
So, spoilers, they win the SmackDown tag team belts.
They sure do. The match was phenomenal.
It was rad. It was
so good. It was everything I wanted to see from the Usos. It was everything I wanted to see from the Hardys. The Usos put up a damn good fight, but it just goes to show that the Hardy brothers are the superior tag team. Yeah. They are the superior brothers. The Usos were slipping up there. Like, you did notice there was a bit of a miscommunication there when I think Jay had, Matt on his shoulders, and Jimmy went up to the top rope, and there was just this weird communication there, and Jay just dropped a Samoan drop, and Jimmy had to just climb down. Like, there was this really weird sort of miscommunication there. So there was definitely some lapse in the Usos foundation there, which would have ultimately led to them losing those titles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was so stoked because this is the...
I literally jumped out of my chair.
Yeah.
Literally.
I did too. Like, for me, it had been spoiled because Ryan's like, there's something I'm going to tell you, but I don't want to spoil it. And I was like, spoil it because nothing's real to me until I watch it. And he told me, and I was like, hell yes, this is what I want to see. Yeah. And I saw it on Twitter.
And it didn't change the payoff.
No, it didn't. I was laying in bed. I was watching it. I was sort of like half out of it. Like, this is going, oh my God. And I flung up, and I was so excited because this makes them the 8-time tag team champions?
Yeah, it's the 8th time they've been a tag team championship at WWE's. They're the only tag team to ever be the world tag team champions, the Raw tag team champions, and the SmackDown tag team champions. And a side note, they're the only the only tag team to ever have the Impact, the WWE, the Ring of Honor, the Impact, and there was another one as well. Like, the only person to have 4 different different companies be a tag team in all 4. No one else has done that.
They're ridiculous, and I'm so excited to see them with a title reign. You know what this means? This means that coming into Money in the Bank, they're gonna have. They're gonna be on the ladders.
Yeah, because we talked about this yesterday, and I'm like, so I wanted to see the Money in the Bank. So I wanted to see Hardy's Usos ladder. What's Money in the Bank full of? Motherfucking ladders.
That is exactly it. So this is definitely gonna lead into that. I think this is gonna be an awesome feud between the Usos and the Hardy Boys. Mm-hmm. Brothers versus brothers. I am so for this. Mm-hmm. Feed it to me. Feed me the Hardy Bros every week because I will never stop living for them. I still to this day go back and watch their old matches and their old promos, and I live for them. So bring it on. So yeah, as they're celebrating their win, they're about to have a little interview with Kayla, and Lars Sullivan enters again.
Mushes them.
Absolutely just demolishes them. Just powers through. He ends up off the top rope getting Matt Hardy with that headbutt. It was just devastation. That man is devastating. He is just this huge powerhouse. And I was just like, okay, yep, cool. Like, 2 nights in a row, I'm still not sick of this. Just feed me more Lars. I'm so excited to see.
You're going to be so full of wrestlers.
Yeah, I am just, who needs dinner? I'm full. Yeah, I am all for it. I'm really interested to see how far and how, where Sullivan is going to go. I'm so excited to finally see that he is okay and he's in the roster, like I said before.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, it's good to see him back, and I liked that he's wrecking shop on both places. Just someone put it out there. He's monstered 3 legends in 24 hours.
Yep, he is. He's definitely making his presence known, and I am all for it. So after this, we have Becky Lynch having her SmackDown celebration. She comes out and talks about how she is the champ, the double champ, the only ever woman in history to be a dual women's champion. Absolutely phenomenal speech. To which, as she's leaving again, she's walking up the ramp, she's waving, she's getting her chance. Lacey Evans out of nowhere, attacks her from behind, completely knocks Becky off her feet, like knocks her for 6. Becky was shook by that punch. Lacey Evans, I'm pretty sure, broke her top. Like, I'm pretty sure the zipper on the back of it broke when she swung.
Ripped her skirt. Yeah,
yep, she ripped the skirt and the top.
Like, it became one of those skirts that have the back not sewed up. What's it called?
The split.
Like split heat.
Yeah.
Slit.
What do they call them? I can't remember. Like chaps.
Hem.
Oh, yeah, the hem split, yep. And then on her top as well, the zipper split. Obviously, she is built like a brick shit house, so any pulsing in any of those
any
outfits,
sort of struggle.
It's like the Hulk.
Yeah, she hulked out.
She-Hulk, yep. She fully She-Hulked. But yeah, she just stood there and just eyeballed Becky while Becky was just sort of, she didn't know where she was.
Grounded.
Yep, she had no idea where she was. And this, again, fed like, give this to me. I didn't know I wanted it, but now I do.
Yeah.
And I am all for it. I can't wait to see where this takes Lacey and Becky. But at the same time, I was like, oh, Lacey, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Just go away. We saw this. But I was all for it. So finally, that brings us to our main event of the 6-man tag match. As everybody's getting in the ring, ready to wrestle, Sami Zayn enters.
Yeah.
And everybody's chanting and singing his intro when he's got his microphone in hand and he's just like, you're not worth it. And drops the mic and leaves. And I was like, short and sweet. I like it.
Digging it.
I like it. And yeah. So the 6-man tag match is The New Day versus The Bar and Drew McIntyre. Brutal match. Super. I was really into it, actually. Apart from the part where Drew McIntyre slingshot Xavier Woods into the announce table, I was a bit like, oh,
no, did you fuck hurt my Xavier Woods?
that hurt. It was amazing, and I was like, oh man, like this, the New Day aren't gonna win. But yeah, Big E ends up in the ring. Big E is ridiculous. I love watching that man wrestle. I was all about every time he was in the ring. Unfortunately, like, as bad as it's going to sound, whenever Xavier or Kofi are on screen, I was just like, meh, give me more Big E. He is just ridiculously spectacular when he wrestles. He's got, he'll do a move, he'll gyrate a little bit, he gets real cocky about it. I am all about it. He is such an amazing entertainer. But for a huge chunk there, Drew and Kofi are just missing. Like, I didn't see either of them anywhere. Like, I don't know what happened. There was no showing of, like, anybody attacking anybody. I was like, what? And then out of nowhere, Kofi Kingston comes and tags in, and he ends up getting a Trouble in Paradise on Sheamus for the win. Sheamus dropped the bar again. Mm-hmm. So,
did Drew get in at all? I don't remember.
I don't believe he did. He may have very briefly, but I think it was all outside the ring that he was playing a part in. It was really weird. It was really weird. Like, yeah, it seemed like Big E's match, and then Kofi just finished it. But I'm all about that. Like, I love watching Big E wrestle. I want to see more of Big E, on my screen in some matches. So yeah, Trouble in Paradise. Kofi gets the pin for the win. Second win for the week. Obviously, Mania included. To which he celebrates in the ring with his family. He gets his wifey and the kids in the ring. It's super beautiful. His eldest one, I believe his name is Kai. Super sassy, getting up on the rings, just standing there on the ringside, on the ropes, just like fully sassing it up. And then you see this cute thing where he jumps down and he goes running over and gives Big E a big old cuddle. And like, I was fine all day until that point. And I was like, man, they're so cute. He's like kissing his wife in the ring and cuddling his kids. And I'm just like, man, not again. It was so beautiful. But yeah, like, overall that match to me was a bit meh.
It was a little bit meh. Yeah. It was one thing, it's that repetition. It was like, I'm sick of the bar. I fucking hate the bar. And for that reason, like, that is why, once again, like, what could have been a literal two Kurt Angle show, like, aside from the bar, this episode of SmackDown was fucking brilliant. Exactly, and I just can't with the bar anymore. I can't.
Yeah. I think For me, I'm going to be super generous with this one this week just because I am running on a high off Mania and I am going to give it to Kurt Angle's. Even regardless of the last match, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Big E. I really enjoyed watching him wrestle. So that sort of sweetened that end deal for me.
And some of the Hardys getting the win.
The
Braun
Hardys
Strowman.
it was overall, it was definitely to Kurt Angle's, our now retired thumb.
Yeah. But yeah,
he'll never be retired in our hearts.
Although Kurt has retired from his time at the WWE, he will forever live on in the young and the wrestlers. There is no question he will be immortal in our eyes. Let us know what you thought of this week's episode of SmackDown Live in those comments below, and of course on those social medias.
You didn't tell us what you thought of it.
Yeah, I just I gave 1.5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Got ruined by fucking bar. So what we'll do, we'll jump over to as we end all our shows with the dirt sheet. So dishing the dirt with Dirt Sheet Dash. Now this was a late comer. Dash sent it during while we were chatting about RAW. So I have not been able to pre-screen this. So we are all going in super blind.
Genuine reactions.
Once again, he delivers 1, 2, 3, and he also gave us some predictions for the Superstar Shakeup.
Oh yay! Good way.
Number 1, according to reports, Becky Lynch was booked to win the Raw and SmackDown titles, as we know,
of course,
but not in the way it happened at WrestleMania 35.
And I didn't think so.
At the climax of the historic first all-women's WrestleMania main event, Ronda Rousey hit the Piper's Pit. That's what the one I wanted when we were talking about yesterday. Yes. Maneuver on Lynch, with the latter turning the move into a backslide pin that resulted in a pinfall victory. Fightful.com is reporting that referee Rod Zapata was fined an undisclosed amount of money by WWE over the finish of the WrestleMania 35 main event. Apparently, Zapata got heat for not stopping the 3 count when Ronda had her shoulder up as WWE referees are supposed to officiate matches as if they are. As is. Zapata was reportedly pulled aside by Vince the next night prior to Raw, and he didn't add this, but I'm like, presumably chewed the fuck out.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So this detailed speculation of what we talked about yesterday with the idea that it wasn't meant to go down this way.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was supposed to end that way, but for some reason it wasn't positioned. Like, Ronda obviously didn't, like, Becky didn't roll Ronda up the right way, meaning her shoulder was off that. So,
and that's just the fault of the referee. Like, that was him not checking.
Yes.
So if that was because of that lift up, it's just how she was rolled over. Perhaps it just wasn't clean. It wasn't tidy.
Yeah.
There has also been the speculation that it was meant to go to the pin or submission on Charlotte.
Yes.
But I disagree with that. I think that's just
believe
rumor speculation.
Yeah, I do definitely believe it was supposed to be the end of the match that way. I just don't think it was obviously called correctly by the referee. Obviously, it's 2 shoulders down. That was not a clean pin. That was not. Yeah, but something like that, I guess, like, you know, like you said, you just continue to officiate the match, you call it off, and they wrestle again.
What they really should have done is then, because like we could tell there was a hesitation there. Like there was after the 3 count, everyone was kind of on their toes. They should have gone, and they should have gone, hey, can we double check that? No, it's not clean. Keep it going.
Exactly. It's as simple as like any sports thing they do, like it's sports entertainment, like any sport you do have replays. So you would want something like a replay. And we see how
quickly they can pump a replay on that feed.
And they do say, hey, that wasn't a clean win. Let's repeat. So
I've seen it done before.
It's happened on Raw and SmackDown before. So, you know, it's not beyond the grandest stage of them all. Obviously it was human fault in the referee. But it is what it is, and we do have our double champ.
Next up is, according to PW Insider, that's Pro Wrestling Insider for those playing at home, the belief is that AJ Styles suffered a hip-related injury at WrestleMania 35 when he hit the phenomenal forearm to the outside of the ring. Styles was evaluated yesterday, but an official diagnosis has not yet been confirmed. According to Twitter account at AJ Styles GOAT P1, AJ Styles mentioned on a recent gaming stream that it was actually the superplex from Orton that caused the injury. Styles also apparently said that nothing was broken and only some soft tissue bruising, because that superplex was fucking brutal. as was the phenomenal forearm to the outside. So,
it could be a culmination.
It damn sucks. It sucks hard, but I don't know. I don't know how to go with it. It's a tough line.
I reckon it's perfect timing because it means AJ gets a little bit of a break and a little bit of a rest over maybe.
Well, especially after having his 365, plus win day run, more than a year. Total sense. And, part of his contract on top of that, he was looking for lesser time. Yeah. So, if anything, it works out. Damn. Yeah. Wow. Now, we'll jump into some of Dash's predictions for the Superstar Shakeup, or the rumor mills that he has heard. Yeah. And then we'll jump in with some of ours.
Yeah. Bring it on.
It is now believed that we may see some major moves by the WWE for the Superstar Shakeup next week, with SmackDown heading to Fox in October. WWE is focused on making the B show its A+ player.
Oh, yeah.
The current rumored shakeup, according to Dash, is as followed. Moving from SmackDown to Raw, we'll see AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, The Miz, and Aleister Black.
Aleister and Ricochet getting split.
Raw to SmackDown, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal, Dash Wilder, splitting up the Revival, Ricochet. There is further speculation that this may not be the final list, and there may be others included, such as tag teams, commentary, announcers, and more. WWE are looking to hit the reset button next week, and we may see some shocking results from this.
Interesting.
What do you think of that list?
I was anticipating that Ricochet and Aleister Black would be split up. Mm-hmm. As phenomenal as they are a tag team, I think they both will thrive better in their respective divisions as independents.
I agree. And having them be singles, it makes total sense. Because we've spent the last 2 months seeing them as a tag team. They also won the Dusty Road Classics on NXT. These guys have been thrown together as a tag team. I think they've done everything they can up until this point, aside from winning belts, and that's not saying they can't come back together at another point.
Exactly.
So it makes total sense to split them up. I disagree with Samoa Joe moving to Raw. AJ Styles and Randy. Sure, I'm down with that. The Miz, I think would make sense. Bringing Finn Balor over to SmackDown is a biggie.
We're obviously seeing him in the blue shorts this week.
With Roman Reigns going cross if they do want to make it that A+ show, and they, Vince loves Roman Reigns, makes total sense there. I think Ricochet works on SmackDown with flippy flips because it's cool to watch. So in terms of appeal for of course ratings. Jinder Mahal, who the fuck cares? He can go anywhere. I don't really care. Splitting the Revival is interesting. I've noticed how... Oh, yeah, because he stays on Raw. Makes sense. I understand splitting of the Revival. I think the Revival have kind of overstayed their welcome as well. I mean, as in that, I would like to see what they can do as singles. I'm not quite sure but in terms of additionals, I think Braun Strowman's going to go over as well. Roman Reigns is a tough one because I did think that he would want to go for the Universal Championship again. But if he has already had that in the past, so why not shift him towards to go in the run for the WWE Championship? I do think Drew McIntyre will go over there as well, and I think we will get the maybe some more on the Drew Roman feud, maybe not. If they want good stuff over there, that'd be alright. Actually, no, I take that back. Keep Drew McIntyre on Raw, have him move in with Seth, and he'd be his new competitor. I also think the Usos will come across to Raw as well. For another reason why I lost the belt this week. What about you? Well, I think it's more.
I think Sasha and Bayley will be split.
I
think Sasha and Bayley will be split up. Obviously, there's a lot of I think from seeing how much animosity and anger Bayley had this week, I think maybe some of that may be directed towards Sasha. So I think that maybe they'll be split. Who goes where, I don't know. I feel like Bailey will be. I feel like Bailey will go be SmackDown and Sasha will be Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I feel like Bailey has a bit more appeal than Sasha does. More of a friendly face, get the younger viewers watching. I think. Oh gosh.
Well, let's jump on this. So so we've got the other NXT call up, so they don't have a home yet.
Yeah.
Lacey Evans don't have a home. Lars Sullivan doesn't have a home. Heavy Machinery doesn't have a home. Nikki Cross doesn't have a home. EC3 doesn't have a home. Where do you think they'll go?
All right. I think Heavy Machinery will go to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I think, they're great to watch. Obviously, they're going to be huge, beneficial when they do move to Fox. I think Lacey and Becky will be SmackDown players. I think that Charlotte will be moved to Raw for that. Charlotte will, obviously, I feel like the weaker women's division is the Raw women's division, so Charlotte will be able to shake that up a bit. Lars Sullivan, I think, will be a Raw superstar. Who else? Who else did you say? Sorry.
EC3.
EC3. Ooh. I'm not sure. They had so much potential with EC3, and I feel like it's been squandered. I think maybe EC3 will stay with Raw. I don't know. I guess that's just sort of it suits.
And Nikki.
And Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross is a tricky one. I feel like Nikki Cross will be on SmackDown.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just this feeling I have. Maybe she, she's quite a wild competitor. I feel like she could bring something a bit extra to the SmackDown.
Yeah, my thoughts are very similar to yours. I do think Lars will stay on Raw. I think with the aggression that Raw is supposed to have, I think it really works. Heavy Machinery coming to SmackDown makes probably the most sense. I think Nikki will stay with wherever Sanity is.
That's true too. Yeah, if they say the Raw, Nikki
EC3, I don't care, but I imagine he'll go to Raw. I think Lacey will be on whichever one Charlotte isn't. And I think so if they do want to make SmackDown the A show, I believe that Lacey will be on SmackDown and Charlotte will head up. It was my not forgetting that they want to make SmackDown the A show. My original plan was always Lacey and Becky on Raw, Charlotte and whoever else on SmackDown. But if they with that being a very key point for the Dash to bring up, I think that makes sense for them to go that way.
See, I thought the opposite. I think Charlotte would be a huge benefit to the Raw women's division, obviously to set a bar for them and to bring them up a bit higher. Obviously, Becky's done all she can with Raw. SmackDown is her home. SmackDown is Becky. I don't think they'd want to move her because she's way too beneficial to them. So I think it would be smart business move to move Charlotte across, because then Charlotte can, lift the division on the Raw side for the women's, and bring some really strong competition, and hopefully get those women so fired up that they bring stronger competition as well, and just strengthen that division as a whole. Yeah.
No, I do certainly agree with you there. There are there's only 8 people that Dash has given us there. I do wonder how many people will actually be changing. In my head, when I see a shake-up, I think it's a fucking everything. Everything. There's not a handful. It's the whole thing. And I could be totally wrong now.
Well, in saying that, with all the all these issues with Greg Hamilton and Shane McMahon, maybe Greg will go to Raw instead of announcing on SmackDown. Little things like that. I think Renee will change brands. I think Renee will go to SmackDown too. Yeah, I think Renee will go to SmackDown. I feel like she'd be great on SmackDown. I feel like it's a better brand for her.
Once again, without sounding horrible, it's one of those things of how does it look? Have a woman on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
I think potentially they could also get a permanent woman on SmackDown as well. Yeah, I think that angle really works, especially if they do want to continue pushing women. It makes total sense. I also heard the rumor mill that there may also be works for an all-female show. Oh, fuck yeah! I watched that. I'd watch that so hard. Yeah. Nope, that's supposed to sound sexy than I intended. I would watch that show with much intention.
Yes.
No, much excitement. Attention.
Simon.
Yeah, good show. I can't wait. So I do wonder, what the depth of the shake-up is.
Yeah, just chuck it in a little pancake bottle and give it a big old shake.
Yeah, should be very cool. Let us know who you think will get shuffled around when it comes to the Superstar Shake-Up next week. that was the Young and the Restless, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. It was every Friday morning at 8 o'clock on the podcast services and 9 a.m. on the YouTube. If you want to show this pop cultures on your body, popcultures.com/shop. Buy assorted shirts with wrestling-inspired designs on there, all designed by the incredible person of James over at Pixel Beast. Always give them the big shout-outs because he makes incredible work for us. So we also on Twitch, twitch.tv/thepopcultures. We are also on Patreon as well. If you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/thepopcultures. Always get to bring it up here because we're really bad at Patreon, but that is certainly there. But yeah, so next week we get into season something, the new season of wrestling.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
But until then, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I forgot what I said at the start of this video. I'm Jem.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.